Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. In this video I'm going to talk about how to factorize quadratics in a simple way. We're going to go through how to factorize quadratics that have as first coefficient 1 or any number but 1. So let's get on. After a factorization of a quadratic, you end up with the following: x plus m times x plus n. M and n being any number, any real number. But in case of A-levels and GCSEs, the only numbers that you get are either positive or negative integers, so don't get scared by this notation. The rule says that C is equal to the product between m and n, and B is equal to the sum between m and n. Obviously, that's only when the quadratic can be factorized. Sometimes quadratics can't be factorized and you have to use the general formula, which is the following: x being equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Keep in mind these two rules because we're going to use them in our example. Suppose we have x squared minus 7x plus 10. How can we factorize that? So we should end up with two brackets like these and fill the m and the n depending on the number we get. So what we said beforehand was that our product is C, which is in this case plus 10, this one, and our sum is in this case minus 7. This means that we are looking for two numbers that multiplied together give plus 10 and added give minus 7. So if you can't think about that in your head, if you can't get to the answer in your head, I advise you to write down all the combinations of the numbers that multiplied together give you 10. So we have 10 times 1, 5 times 2, minus 10 times minus 1, and minus 5 times minus 2. Now look at each combination and tell me in which case the two numbers multiplied together, if added, would give you minus 7. The only case in which they will give you minus 7 is this, with minus 5 and minus 2. Therefore, m is equal to minus 5 and n is equal to minus 2. It doesn't matter if you exchange the order, so n being minus 5 or m being minus 2, it doesn't change a thing. So now you can fill out your bracket. And you factorized your quadratic. Let's do another example. Suppose you have x squared plus 7x plus 12. Our product in this case is plus 12. Our sum is plus 7. Which two numbers added together would give you plus 7 and multiplied together would give you plus 12? You can stop the video and write down the combinations if you want. The two numbers that added together would give you 7 and multiplied would give you plus 12 are plus 4 and plus 3. So you can fill out your bracket. So what happens then when A is any number but 1? Okay, it's really similar to the other rule because you're still considering the product and the sum. But in this case, the product is A times C. It's not just C. And the sum, it's still B. Suppose you have 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. Your product is plus 6 and your sum is minus 7. Which two numbers multiplied and added together would give you these numbers here? These numbers are minus 6 and minus 1. In this case though, you do not write these numbers in the brackets, but you substitute them in here. I'm going to show you how. You would write 3x squared minus 6x minus x plus 2. And then you would go on by factorising as I've taught you in the previous video. In this case, we would start by factorising partially. And we would consider first these two and then those two. In here, the common divisor is 3x. And our quotient would be x minus 2. In here, our common divisor is 1. However, I wouldn't write plus 1, because if you would write plus 1, here you would get x minus x plus 2. So to get the same bracket, the same term, you would have to take out a minus. So I would immediately just write minus 1 as a common divisor. And you would get x minus 2. As you can see, we have a common divisor in here, which is x minus 2. Our quotient would be 3x minus 1. And here we have factorised our quadratic. Suppose we have 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. Our product is minus 8. Our sum is plus 7. The two numbers that multiplied would give you minus 8 and added would give you plus 7 are plus 8 and minus 1. So you would substitute these in here. 2x squared plus 8x minus x minus 4 equal to. We have to factorise. The common divisor here is 2x. Our quotient would be x plus 4. In here, our common divisor to get x plus 4 is minus 1. We keep on factorising. Common divisor x plus 4, quotient 2x minus 1. Here is our quadratic factorised. I hope you found this video helpful. If you haven't seen the previous videos on factorisation, go check out. I also made videos in which I gave advice to prospective A-level students, so if you want, you can check that out too. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to write them in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer them.